car for mine, the one that's really dangerous.
Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss musical artists. This week's musical artist is Green Day. Each week, one of us picks an artist. We rotate out. This week, it's my pick. Last week, it was Tim's pick. That's Tim holding the beer down there.
That's me.
He picked International Noise Conspiracy.
Greetings and welcome.
Go check that out. Next week, it's Bill's pick. He's above me on the beach in the desert, which is weird.
Howdy.
And he picked the Beastie Boys. So stick around for that. If you've been following along the playlist link channel down below, up to this point, you would have already met Tony. He'll be here officially for the Beastie Boys. He may show back up in this discography. We don't fucking know. Tony comes, Tony goes.
But we hear he's still in the building.
Yeah, he's still in the building. We do have a somber note. Denver, he's not with us anymore. We don't know why. Armadillos, I don't know. It snowed here in Austin, but we do know that his favorite album, or we think his favorite album, was 21st Century Breakdown, so we're going to give him the 21 Gun Salute.
21 guns, lay down your...
And just put that across the board for him right there. Okay.
Yeah, and we'd like to thank Denver for giving it the good attempt. We're sorry that his Wi-Fi went out. But if you join us in the Discord or on any of the linky links that are all down below, you too could try to get on the show and talk about one of your favorite artists. Just hit us up at the Discord and the Patreon and the MySpace and the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the Twitters and the ICQs.
Drinking's optional, not a requirement.
Not a requirement.
Just got to show up. That's all. So
and have Wi-Fi.
And have Wi-Fi, yeah. You got to have Wi-Fi and a camera. Today we're talking Warning. We have left the 90s. So we're talking Green Day's Warning 2000. I got a nice green copy. I got some 7 inches. Bill, you need to get on some 7 inches.
I'm not ready to hop on some 7 inches yet.
You need to.
It's
they're
never
fun.
too soon to start.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, what happens if you get invited to a 7-inch party? What are you going to do?
I don't think I can go because I don't have 7 inches.
All the more reason to get you some 7 inches. Gotta hop right on it.
I guess I'll start this one off. I remember the day this album came out. I was hyped for it. Same day that Radiohead's Kid A came out. My girlfriend was hyped for that. We went up to the Sam Goody or one of those...
Camelot?
Yeah, one of those like major CD stores they had back in the day in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I picked up my CD. She picked up hers.
Maybe the Virgin Megastore?
It might have been Virgin. I think it was Virgin, actually.
There was one in the Jackson Brewery, right?
New Orleans.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where we were.
Yep.
Of course, she got to go first because, she was a girlfriend. So we listened to Kid A first, and it fucking sucked. And I hated it. And, maybe one day we'll do Radiohead. I don't know. Hot take, I know a lot of people like Kid A, but fuck that album. So then I put in my Green Day Warning. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So all those American Idiot fans that turn their back on the trilogy saying, this ain't my Green Day. I already been through it here with Warning. Because this was not my Green Day.
Yeah.
But saying that, over the years, I fucking love Warning.
What's growing on you?
I fucking love Warning. I guess I'll run through my notes. This was the first time they self-produced this one. I saw them on tour for this album the first time, and it was kind of nice because they were on the decline of their popularity, so it didn't sell out. But we stayed up at the pawn shop in the parking lot. Remember those days, the gold mine pawn shop, got our tickets. That's how you did it back then.
Yes, there I do.
Have those public or those parking lot parties at like 2 a.m. waiting for Ticketmaster to open. Anyway, great show.
My favorite was always having to actually call the number right at 10 o'clock.
Ooh, yeah, I think we got fucked one day. I can't remember what band it was. So we ended up like just staying up all night when the doors open, or the pawn shop guy showed up. All right. Warning. Opening lines are: this is a public service announcement. This is only a test, which kind of sums up this album because this is different for the previous records. It's a little slower. It's gonna be different. I love the opening track though. Witty lyrics, the mix on the guitars. Obviously, the best line in the song is the cop, or am I the one that is dangerous? Blood, sex, and booze. I mean, NoFX got some bangers. Strung Out got Ultimate Devotion. Green Day could have a song like that. Top song contender. I love the riff between the verse and the chorus. My note says, read the additional musicians from the vinyl. For blood, sex, and booze, dominatrix, Mistress Simone. So she gets a credit. That's pretty cool. Church on Sunday. One of my favorite love songs. Top 5. I like the way he phrased the compromise with, if I promise to go to church on Sunday, will you go with me on Friday night? The off-tempo part that he does at the ending chorus. Fashion Victim, super fun riff. Trey doing the offbeat thing, it's super interesting. Castaway, I love the bass towards the back half, super fun vocal melodies. Misery, I fucking hated it for years. Now it just sounds like a Green Day song though, but at the time, it was a little different. It could have been on 21st Century.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I definitely recommend listening to it in headphones. There's a lot going on in this song. It's pretty good. Deadbeat Holiday. Christmas lights in the middle of August. Grudges come back to haunt us. Your oldest allies are your long-lost enemies. It's probably my first or second favorite off the album. Hold On. Got that harmonica going again. Super Bob Dylan on this record. Jackass. What is that I hear? Saxophone solo? You know how we like our saxophone solos. Top song contender. Chorus soars. Production super clean. Lyrics are top tier. Smart ass. Billy drags out the words in the outro. This is my Green Day. Waiting. Then you got fucking... You go from Waiting to Minority to fucking Macy's Day Parade. Waiting's so good. The song, the whole album just remind me of freezing my ass off with my girlfriend in our shitty little pad in New Orleans. Minority's still a classic. It's chanting chorus and the quieter for crying out loud. She screamed onto me, a free for all, fuck 'em all, you are your own sight. I get everybody singing along to it in a live performance. This is the first. They'll copy this same formula quite a few times, but we'll get there. Top song contender. Macy's Day Parade, best closing track so far, hands down. It's simple, but the lyrics, the delivery, the bass and drum coming in. When I was a kid, I thought I wanted all the things that I haven't got. The strings, it's the best fucking closing track so far. We're going to talk about this again on a later video, but I remember I already said all that shit about the trilogy. Warnings what happened to us Dookie fans that didn't jump off on the last record. Didn't take me long to warm up to it, but it took me a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, I'll segue us briefly to Tim here. I'll say as a whole, looking at Warning, I felt like was a solid opener. Wasn't my favorite by any means though, and I feel like Warning definitely set the tone for this album.
You hear that, Joe? Joe, leave us a comment down below. Because I know this is your favorite one, and I know you're watching all of our videos.
Subliminally in his sleep.
Yeah.
Like I assume side A ends with Misery, correct?
No.
It feels like no.
No, that's track 6, right? Yeah, no, it ends
Yeah.
with... Yeah, it does end with Misery. Sorry.
Okay. So, I'm just... And actually, it's... Because I would say this side A wise, I'd say probably my favorite song was Castaway, actually. And I definitely feel like Misery was kind of like that bookend to a side A. And
Yeah.
for me, actually, from Deadbeat Holiday on, I really like the B-side songs. Personally, I think Hold On might be a little bit better than Jackass. But I think that's some personal flavor just coming through on that. I mean, and who hasn't heard Minority at this point in 2025? Um,
They still play that one.
but yes, they do. At the same time, I mean, Macy's Day Parade is a good closer. Yes. I don't know if it's their best. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think
So far.
I'm trying to think back. Oh, memories are hard. Um,
For
you know,
context, go back and watch our first video to see our history with the band. So,
yeah,
these guys had like 2 weeks now to listen to all these fucking albums. So, Bill's more first impressions.
yeah, to an extent. Actually, yeah, you're right. More first impressions, especially with this one. Um,
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
for this one, yeah.
yeah. I mean, this album
I
as a
can all be
whole,
there.
though. I mean, this set the tone for some later albums that they released after this.
Yes.
And as someone who got on with American Idiot and then going back, I can't help but kind of have a big old question mark on this one. Just as like a question. Like not so much a why as a what happened.
Do you know the story of cigarettes and Valentines?
No.
Okay. We'll get to that.
Okay. But yeah, I'd say I mean following up Nimrod, they kept going in the way that I wasn't sure as I was listening to this discography album after album. Like it seemed like a natural transition after Nimrod, but it didn't. I mean, we'll rank it afterwards here, but like it really wasn't working for me. But it makes sense that they went from here to American Idiot, though. Like I see how they made that jump.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I
I
can
see
see
where you're
I
at
can
with
I can
that.
see
Yeah.
Nimrod into Warning. There's a lot of warning on
For
Nimrod.
sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
as I say, it feels like a natural commercialized progression.
You also got to remember this is 2000. Like in 1999, Blink exploded with
Yeah. Green Day had just become the old man band.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like they were so 5 years ago. Oh
yeah.
my God.
Everyone was all "What's your age again?" and stuff.
Yep.
I mean that's Blink though.
Yeah, they passed the
But
torch.
but that's the radio audience
Yeah,
Yes.
as well. And so Green Day, I think at this point, and yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're done or not. I don't have much more else to
Yeah.
say than what you guys have covered for this. But yeah, at this point, like it feels like they're trying to legitimize their sound. I think it, and yeah, you could almost see this band as to like I don't know if is it Nimrod or is it Warning because they do work well together. But that's the clearly the line, like either like before or after. But they're kind of two different bands
yeah,
doing the same thing, but they're two different bands.
yeah. There, it's
And that
Nimrod's a good like you can hear parts of Insomniac on Nimrod, then you hear some a little bit of like slower, more
yeah, you can see where
mature-ish.
they're kind of going in a more rock direction. Where this one they really doubled down on. This is where, like you mentioned, Bob Dylan. I was thinking they were Springsteen songs.
Yeah, there's probably some Springsteen in there.
Yeah, maybe a little Neil Young. They're kind of going back into the 70s folk rock, which a
Yeah,
lot of these songs follow that song structure.
yeah, very much
Um,
so.
Yeah, there's a lot of production on this album, a lot of backing tracks, a lot of instruments. Um, they're trying a lot of different styles on the songs, even though the songs are all basically the same structure.
Yeah.
They're trying a bunch of different stuff here. And yeah, I mean, obviously, moving forward, you can point to a lot of it coming from this album. But since we're not going forward yet, looking at it as to what's come before it, it does. It really feels like this is. It feels like they're trying too hard, maybe. I'm not sure. I listened to it again today. Um, and, I certainly remember the singles. They were everywhere. They were never like good enough for me to want to buy the album, but they're decent enough. They're not, they're decent enough Green Day songs. And listening to it again today, like you really could take those two songs and stick them in the blender, and you get the rest of the album.
Yeah. I mean, even the album cover looks more. I don't want to use the word. Like, I mean, more like a mature, like, hey, we're like this isn't the same Dookie Green Day.
Right. Especially for 2000, yeah, they're dealing with Blink 182. They're also dealing with Weezer still, and they're dealing with The Offspring still, and all these other bands that were all trying to just be the next Nirvana. But at this point, too, like Nickelback's starting to creep up.
Creed's made an appearance.
Yeah. And structurally, a lot of these songs are very similar to those songs.
I'd go out. I'd say like Nickelback in 2000 had more rock than Green Day's Warning.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. And we maybe will find on both artists' discographies. Go back and check out our Nickelback episodes.
That's a fun one.
They both kind of fall into the songwriting formula.
But this album did not do well commercially.
No, it did not.
We would live in a completely different Green Day timeline if it did, though, I think.
Although to be fair, like the title track, that's a top song contender. That's a fun song, and I like Holiday as well. Like that's the one thing Green Day always does well throughout this discography is they take that basic punk rock sound and do it really well. They're taking really simple songs and they're working it. And so yeah, like there's some interesting production on here.
It's not
But
the.
yeah,
I mean, it's good production.
it's good production. And there's some good songs. There's some decent songs. Like ultimately, it is a Green Day album, and you should know what you're getting when you're going into one at this point, even if it's going to be a little weird. But again, is it this or is it Nimrod? Where is that wall? Or is it the next album?
Well, we'll get to the next one.
We'll get to that next one for sure.
There's hints of. I mean, there's some. It was weird when I went back as I was taking my notes for this discography, and I got to Warning, and then I get to some future records, and I'm like, this is Minority again, just not as good as Minority. Like, kind of elevated Warning, I think, for me, because they do kind of pull from Warning a lot going forward.
Right, which always begs the question, like if going into it, it lowers the bar, and then in hindsight, it's the last time the bar was high.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. But I love fucking Warning, but I'm biased, so Who has to guess it?
And as
Fuck, I
I've
gotta
said in
guess it.
previous episodes, like I've been aware of this band forever, and I just never understood it. There's something about it that doesn't do it for me. So for the most part, these are pretty first impressions for me too. And you know,
I'm glad I get to guess then. I think Tim has got it bottom.
I mean, I'm gonna say that's incorrect.
Really? No first album
Just because of the
bias.
production. Just because of the production.
So you're putting it here?
Yeah. There's no way I could put this better than Kerplunk, though.
Bill, are you putting it above Kerplunk? No.
No, I am not.
Okay. That's where I put it too. Was right behind Kerplunk. Yes. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. I guess. I don't know. Stick around.
Does anything make sense?
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Same as it ever was.
Same
Where
as
do
it
I
ever
come
was. Same as it ever
And you may
was.
find yourself.
Oh, I don't want to go back
Let
there.
me get a bathroom check.
Oh, flashbacks. Stick around. We're gonna do a little side. We're not ranking them international and shenanigans just because they're notable releases. And after that, we're gonna talk about something American Idiot. I don't know. A couple people bought that record, so we'll see what Tim thinks about American Idiot.
Listen to it again today. Heard something I had forgotten about. So I'm glad I re-listened to it.
Oh boy, I can't wait for that. Let's go. Stick around, like, subscribe for that. It's gonna be a good time. Who knows? Tony might show up. Does Tony like American Idiot? I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not. Anyway, be safe. And what, Bill? And what, Tim?
Let's.
Huh?
Fucking make good decisions, god damn it. We practiced this in rehearsal.
You can't tell me what to do, Dad.
We had rehearsal?
And then you go a little woo, and then a little whoop, 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 and then it's all, and then you're ready to go again.